Hey, and welcome to this URL Monitor demo. What you see right now is the dashboard once you've filled in some URLs and it starts crawling. In this example, we look at ikea.com. And before we get started, let me show you how to add URLs. It's really simple. So you just go here, add URLs, or you can also manage projects, of course, and add a project first. And then you can either paste your URLs right here, or you can upload a file. There's an Excel spreadsheet that you can fill out here. I will cover that in a different video because you have a lot of options that you can choose from. And if you choose them, you have to make sure that it's this exact format and not anything else. So that being said, let's say you wanted to add a few ikea.com URLs. So what you would do is you just paste them here, right? And what you also have to make sure is that the slash is treated as a different URL. So for example, you can make this different URLs. You could have this one with HTTP, and then this one without www, and then this one without HTTPS and without www. So these are all treated as different URLs, and if you want to check them all, you can just paste them here. If you need, I can provide you with a template to do exactly this and to have different versions of your URL. And then, yeah, you can just put it here. Once you've done this, you just go to Insert, and now you can choose what things you want URL Monitor to check for you on a daily basis. You can check Xrobots, alternative languages, and whether there's AMP support, right? I will check all of these, but it's up to you, and you can change this afterwards as well. So I go to Add URLs, and then the crawling starts. And now I go to URL summary. We see that the crawling is in progress, and we just wait for that to finish. Now you can see already, let's go back to the dashboard. We see that today was only 7 URLs were crawled so far, but we have more than 400. And for these 400, we have okay titles. And for these ones, the title has an error, which means that it's not as we wanted it to be. So that you can go back in time as much as you want to, or at least like. And we see here that, for example, ikea.com has a 301 redirect. But the funny thing is that that was working before. And now we can check when this stopped working. It seems to be quite some time ago. Let me see if I have data from November. It was changed way before November. Okay, so let's have a look at different URLs. So like this one. Here you can see that the description was changed, but I remember that this one had a different change as well. Namely, it was there, it was green, everything was green, and then on the 1st of December, they changed it to 301 redirect, changed it to products, and then on the 19th of January, it came back online and we had a different description. Now, from an SEO standpoint, this doesn't make sense to have a 301 redirect and then change it back to 200 status code. So if you have something like this, you at least want to make sure that this is a 302 or any other status code that does not tell the search engines that they should cache this, and yeah, not the best option to do here. So now we have the different description here, and we say, all right, this description is actually the new one. This is the correct version. So you just go to fix values, click up here, it changes a little bit, and then you can hit save, and the new one is is set here as the green version. So this really helps. Then let's see in the dashboard, we could see that we also have some other title errors on these other dates. So let's see if we want to change them as well. So we have all the 301s. So if you want to see all the 301 titles, you can just go here and say like, all right, the 301 is the new normal. This is what we want to have. This is what you want to fix. So what you do is you click on select all visible and say like, all right, I want to fix the title, canonical, alternate language, AMP. I want to fix all this and make sure that it's the same version as it is today. Then fix selected URLs with today's value. I don't do that right now because I want to keep that data, but if you wanted to do that, then you would fix it with today's values, of course. Then we have one other tool, which is the URL heat map, which I work a lot with, because here you can see changes over time. And I like especially the redirect canonical changes, because here, for example, here, this URL, this was the one that I showed before, I think. Here we had a change, right? So here we had a redirect to this page, which should not happen, and it changed back. And you see that directly here. So here also we had it was not there, the page. Same here, same here, same here. So let's go in and see that it's this URL. This is why I knew this example before, but you could see that immediately, that there was this change happening and it was changing back and forth. So that's why the URL heat map is really valuable. Same with description changes. You see, all right, we had a description here, then it was a 301, and then it changed back to this one. Here we had an empty one, and then it changed to this one. So do we have any others? Yeah, here was empty and changed to that one. We can see the same with robots changes. And what I really like is the response times. So here you can see that some of the pages are just slower than others, whereas on this site it's quite okay, but on some sites you have like a spike on the same day. So for example here, right, you see on this date, on the 14th of October, no, of January, you could see that a few pages had really high response times. And we can also see that it's the stores that have this. Not all of them, but some of them. So it could be that on the stores template that there is an issue, especially if you have this like not only on one day, but throughout the other days, like that it starts after this date, you have them all red, for example. You can also use the search here to say, all right, I want to see only the store pages. Just type store, and then you see all the store pages below each other. So you know, all right, the rest was working fine. So it was just like only these 10 pages that were not working. Then we have the user agents overview. I don't know if we have, no, you can just add more user agents, and I will do that because then I can make another video with that. So you can just say like, I want Google Desktop, Google Mobile, or I want to have the web user. That way you see differences between the two users, and not only have the Googlebot, but also see like how a web user would see that. That way, for example, you have at times we have sites that block the crawler, and if you go through a web user, it might not be blocked because then the IP address is not different than the normal Googlebot. You can also change the crawl time. For example, here we crawl the whole site at 12 every day, but you can change it to whatever you want. And on that time, it is crawled. So then we have the CMS. I don't think that we have a different CMS for, I think it's just the IKEA template and not anything else. Let's see. But if it was, then, you know, we also have a problem there maybe, because somebody sneaked in a WordPress, but we don't. And we have tracking, so you can make sure that, for example, here, this is also quite interesting. We have Google Tag Manager on the German version, but we don't have Google Tag Manager on the English version, which is kind of strange to me, I think. So here we see the DE version, and IKEA.com has this GTM, but AT and CH, they don't have GTM installed, which is also quite strange, to be honest. Yeah, all the others have GTM installed. You see that right here. Yeah, and some don't. You can also, you know, sort, and then you see directly, we don't have GTM here, we don't have GTM here, but we have GTM here. So something is wrong on these pages, and I don't know what it could be, but here on the robots.txt, there, of course, there's no GTM, but on the others, there should be GTM. Now, let's see, like on the robots.txt, this is also quite interesting, and thing that I like to do is you can fix value, you can have custom codes. So I don't have any custom codes here just yet, but you can say that, let's crawl the new version because it's only updated at 12. So let's crawl the new version, and then you click here and you can select from code. And you can say now that you want to make sure that every day, this is the code in the robots file, robots.txt. So now we check the code every day, whether it is like this or whether it has changed. Hit on save, and now we see the custom code that it's checked and that there's no difference. And once this changes, you get a red icon here. You can also see the alternative languages. I think we did not fix them here. Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense on the robots.txt. And we can also see how the code changed over time with the preview function. So you go here, you have the select date, and let's say we choose December 16th. And we choose yesterday, for example, process source code. And now what we do is we don't have any on the 16th of, all right, let's use a different date. Use the first process source code, and here we are. So here we have the source code from both days, and we see that there was a change. Clean parameters. So this was added, and if we had fixed the values before, we would know like when it was changed. But this way we have the complete source code of this page, and we have it stored for as long as you've booked. So standard is 30 days, but you can, of course, you can make it longer than 30 days and know directly like when it was changed. So let's go back into the dashboard, choose a different URL to see how it changed over time. And let's get some of the ones with the title errors. I don't have any title errors today. So let's go in and say, all right, we want to have, let's use this one. And here's some alternate languages. We don't have alternate languages. Okay. Fixed values. Canonical. All right. So here also, if you go into the preview function, select the date. Let's say we again choose some date in January, and then yesterday. You can process the source code, and now we see all the different changes that happened over time. It takes a while to load because it's quite a lot of source code that we download now. All right, so here we are, and we see all the different changes, and we can just go through them one by one and see what has changed over time, right? So we see, yeah, all the code changes, and that way, even if you have like a conversion change, you can also choose the desktop version to see if there are any code changes or differences between the Googlebot and the user. It's also quite helpful at times. And then we can go into the web view to see the different versions and compare them to each other. Now, let's accept the cookies. So we see as Kallax, yeah, not a big page here. But you would see directly that, for example, here, there's a little space, and then we have this link up here. So this is here, and this is not here. So there's a slight change in the sites. And now if you look at your conversion rates, you could see, hey, this one performed worse, like maybe there was a conversion rate drop on the beginning on February, and you see, hey, actually we added some elements that were not there before, so maybe we have to change it back to get the conversion up again, for this to help. Yeah, then what else do we have? We have headlines, we have images. No headlines found. That's also interesting. It's a how-to site, and no alternative thing, which is also strange because it's a DE page. Right. So this is pretty much it. This is all there is to cover. You can go really deep. You can also you have some filters up here that you can choose to see information more. A lot faster. Empty title, for example, this one is empty. Empty description, this one is empty. We have fixed all the URLs, and we can show all. And then here you have some other columns. So for example, I like to do that especially when I show fixed values. Let's choose a different date again. It's not crawled today yet. Say compare. And now what you can say is, I want to show the fixed title, and I want to show the fixed description. And here it was 0, and here it was 0, and here it was this, and here it was this. So now you can say, all right, maybe I want to say this is the correct one. So you could just go here, fix values, and you just do it like this. Hit save, and then it's done. So it will be green once it's crawled the next time. Then we have some team management functions, namely that you can download all rows or all visible rows that you see right now. And that way you can just import them into Excel or into Google Sheets. And using this function, you can then make sure that everybody's using these titles. And whenever there's a different title, you know directly that it has changed. This is also quite helpful to make sure that everybody works according to your standards and not to any other standards. Yeah, I think this is 20 minutes now. If you have more questions, shoot us an email or contact us through the contact form. We are always here and trying to help. And yeah, just let us know. Hope this helps, and happy working with with URL Monitor.